Hey guys, what is happening? And welcome to my 100 subscriber Q&A special. Now, I know this is long overdue, and I hope you will forgive me for that, but I was just waiting for enough questions to pop through. And not only that, I've been sick for quite a while. You can probably tell with my voice. I had a really bad sore throat. I've been coughing like blazes. So it definitely hasn't been the greatest of times this past these past few weeks. But I'm recovering. I am back. So this is long overdue. We're actually, at the time of this recording, we're already on 111 subscribers. So yeah. But anyways, so I'm going to be answering a couple of you guys' questions, and I hope this Q&A satisfies your curiosity as to who I am and what I'm all about. So without further delay, guys, let's do this. Okay, so Thomas and Norboe. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your last name. I do not speak Norwegian. Thomas is from the YouTube channel Massive Destiny. I recommend you go check his channel out. He does reaction videos. He's asked me two questions. Okay, so the first is, if the guitar was never invented, what genre of music would you listen to? Okay, so I guess he's asking me this question because he knows I'm a metalhead and I freaking love metal music, and obviously one of the key instrumental components to metal music is the guitar, especially the electric guitar. So if the guitar was never invented, what genre of music would I listen to? Well, there are a couple of genres out there that don't require the use of guitar of any sort. And I've said this multiple times on this channel. I may be a metalhead, but I like a whole variety of styles of music. It's just metal is the one I go to the most, the one I listen to the most out of all the others. What other genres? Well, let's see. Well, it would most likely be anything to do with synths, So probably genres like epic trance, melodic dubstep, chill step, trance step, synthwave, new age. Also, classical music exists, obviously. There are literally a shit ton of music styles that don't rely on guitar at all. Though, to be honest, music would suck without the guitar. Any kind of guitar, acoustic or otherwise. Anyway, and then his second question is, what are my top 10 movies of all time? Okay, so I think I should do this. They're not going to be in any particular order, but these definitely are my top 10. Obviously, it's going to be a list of some current favorites and stuff from my childhood as well, or from growing up, some classics. So I did a lot of thinking, and I've got them all written down, or should I say tapped up here. Okay, so firstly, the original Ghost in the Shell movie, the 1995 anime film. Now, I've loved cyberpunk for quite some time, and I just love how Ghost in the Shell really brings out, that how it just makes cyberpunk, really immersive than, a lot more immersive than what it used to be. I love how the movie covers a lot of existential themes, philosophical stuff, political stuff, everything to do with technology and the impact that it could potentially have on our society. The fact that it is one of the more accurate or believable depictions of our post-singularity future. And just so many themes. It's layered with so many themes and concepts that I absolutely love. The characters are fantastic. whether it's the main character, Motoko Kusanagi, or whether it's her supporting characters like Bato and Ishikawa. The cast of Section 9 are fantastic. I fucking love this movie. The animation for this is absolutely amazing, and also without this movie we would not have had the Matrix films. So this is definitely a classic film, and even if you're not into animation, or anime or animation in general, I still recommend you check this movie out. It is it's absolutely fantastic. It's an anime classic, and not only that, it's just got so much to it that you'll really find it a just a really intriguing and gripping movie. So definitely check it out. Then I'm just so you know, I count trilogies as one big massive movie. So I'm going to include the first trilogy here, and that'd be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. If I had to pick out of the three, which is my absolute favorite, it would have to be the Fellowship of the Ring. I know most people will be like, the Two Towers or Return of the King, but the reason why I like the Fellowship of the Ring more than the other two is because for me it had a lot more scenes that impacted me as a kid, and not only that, when it comes to epic fantasy, I always prefer the moments when the group of the characters are traveling, when they're traveling across the continent or something like that to get to their destination, and the stuff they encounter there. I always like that road trip kind of a feel in my fantasy stories, just the things they encounter and stuff, and you get to learn more about the world and the land through it. So I definitely prefer the Fellowship more. And it's but the other two, obviously, while they have some traveling in it, it's not as much. And also all the Fellowship is split up, so you don't get to see all the different interactions as much. But while I love all three of them as a whole, if I had to pick the one out of them that definitely resonates with me the most, it is the Fellowship of the Ring. So Lord of the Rings trilogy is definitely there. Number three would be a recent one. The Avengers. I mean, it's the first time I experienced seeing all my favorite characters who were up until that point having their own separate movies and were only being linked through short little, cameo appearances and stuff. But the moment it was such a cinematic spectacle, the people in the cinema were going bananas. They were just going mad. I was going fucking mad, and it was just a real experience. And it's a movie with a lot of rewatchability. I watch that movie at least like sometimes 2-3 times a year, just so that I can catch up again when the next time Marvel releases a film. So yeah, I fucking love the Avengers. It's a fantastic film. It may not be the greatest masterpiece ever if you had to get all analytical with it and peel apart all the layers and get down to the core, but it is a fantastic film. It's definitely a benchmark, a landmark of a film, and it's definitely one of Marvel's absolute best works ever. So I fucking love the Avengers, and superheroes are cool as well. Number 4 would have to be Step Brothers, with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly in it. God, this to me is still the funniest movie ever. I've watched that movie so many times. I still get laughs from it, and just I can still quote nearly every single part of that movie, line for line, scene for scene, and pretty much it's kind of funny how in high school it was myself, my brother, and our friend. The three of us would hang out, and basically on some days our entire conversations at breakdown would literally result in us just quoting that fucking movie. Our entire conversation would just be quoting or applying those quotes to specific scenarios. So the Step Brothers, fucking love it. It's still hilarious even to this day. And yeah, it's definitely my favorite film starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly together. So Yeah, it's just a fantastic movie. I fucking love it. It's absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. I highly recommend it. It's definitely one of Will Ferrell's best works ever, and one of John C. Riley's best performances as well. Let's see. Number five would have to be Frozen. Um, Frozen, there's something about this Disney film. Like, I mean, I love a lot of Disney films. I have a shit ton that are my favorites. And I know Frozen at this point in time is a very cliched response that some people be like, oh, it's Frozen. That's to be expected, you know? But the reason why I like Frozen is because um, out of all the Disney films that I have seen so far, none of them really had this this essence that it could potentially be something more mature. And I'm not talking the Disney films based on the classic fairy tales, because the classic fairy tales, regardless of the happy ending stuff and whatever, there, if you actually go back and read the original source material, it was dark, gory, violent shit. I mean, that was basically, if you want to put it in some way, fuel for black metal lyrics back in the day. If you had to get down to it and read the originals, but I'm talking the other Disney films, the ones that were original ideas conceived by Disney or something like that. None of those things, have the potential to be remade into something darker and expand upon its own little universe, and I know Frozen is, again, it's based on a fairy tale. It's obviously not an original creation, but the way they were able to adapt it into something that was more or less completely new and fresh, um, it's I just found it fantastic. The characters are all likable, and the music is great. And yes, I'm a fan of Let It Go. I do not care what anyone says about that song. I can understand why people get annoyed by it. There are even times where I can get annoyed by it if it's overplayed too much. But it's like that with any song. It's not just with that song in particular. And that's something that a lot of people don't seem to understand sometimes. Um, so yes, I'm a huge fan of the soundtrack. I love the character designs. The animation's good. Yeah, and I just love the story. It's one of those light-hearted stories that I really find endearing, and it's definitely. Um, I'm not gonna lie. The movie was actually another one of those reasons why I started this channel. Because if you go back and watch a lot of my older content, especially some of the AMVs, you'll notice I made several Frozen AMVs. So yeah, when I first saw the movie, I was a bit of a diehard fan of it at the time. I'm still a fan of it, but not as big as I was. But definitely, it made a huge impression of me with me in these recent years. So yeah, definitely. Um, Number six would have to be Underworld. Underworld, I love the Underworld movies. I don't care what anyone says about them, being like they're not that great, whatever. I mean, we all have our own opinions, but I find them fantastic because even though the effects aren't that great, they are decent enough. Regardless of which movie, whether it's the newer ones or in this case the very first one, they are at least passable. The action is good. The story is at least something that's worth following. I think it's not the greatest groundbreaking story ever, but I've always loved vampires and werewolves. And this depiction of it is certainly one hell of a lot better than the way vampires and werewolves get predicted on, well, not predicted, adapted into more mainstream entertainment. It's better than Twilight and all that other fucking garbage. For me, vampires and werewolves have to be shit like Hellsing, Vampire Hunter D, Castlevania. That is vampires for me, not this other garbage like True Blood and whatnot. I'm sorry if that offends you guys. But it's just not for me. Those portrayals of vampires, So yeah, I'm very much a Bram Stoker guy to the end. So yeah, Underworld. I just love the characters. Kate Beckinsale's character is really cool and badass. And I just love the fight scenes. I just love the aesthetic of the world, and yeah, it's just got an intriguing plot. I do feel that the movies kind of need to stop now, but you know, as long as they aren't becoming more shitty, I guess it's fine if they make more. I believe the movies are based on a comic book, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's definitely I really love the Underworld movies, and they've always had great soundtracks, especially the first movie. A lot of new metal stuff and very industrial, sometimes indie sounding metal stuff there. So yeah, I fucking love Underworld. Then another trilogy, the Matrix trilogy. I used to rewatch these three movies over and over and over again as a fucking kid, and I still fucking love them. If I had to pick the one I like the most, I know everyone's like, ah, the first one is the best, and the other two suck ass. Um, I love all three of them equally but differently. But if I did really, really have to get down to pick the one that I love the most, it's definitely The Matrix Reloaded. It had a fuck ton of great fight scenes. Um, Excellent music. Everything was just batshit off the walls. It just upped the ante from the first movie. And yes, story wise, it was like, especially the prime example of a scene that everyone, goes to is the scene with the architect where everyone's like, oh, what the fuck is he talking about, whatever. That's never what The Matrix was about for me. It was just the whole aesthetic of it. And yes, while as I got older, my mind started becoming more aware of the concepts and stuff being presented, and drawing parallels between it and Ghost of the Shell. Um, yeah, it's just a fantastic trilogy, regardless of uh, people's opinions on the second and third movies. But yeah, I just loved it, and it's definitely the Matrix trilogy is definitely the best of the Wachowski brothers work. It's all the stuff they seem to have done after that is either meh or not very great. So yeah, and Keanu Reeves is always cool. He's one of my favorite actors. I mean, I know he's not the best actor out there, and a lot of his performances seem to be the same. But I've still yet to see John Wick, so I definitely need to see John Wick. So yeah, but I mean, I fucking love Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is always awesome. I've always thought he was cool. Then the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm a huge Batman fan. Fucking love Batman. Um, and while Ben Affleck, at this point in time, is my favorite portrayal of Batman, we haven't had much of him to give a very accurate assessment, and we don't have enough movies with him in it. So, yeah, Dark Knight trilogy, one of the best. Um, but if I had to pick the one that's the best, it's an obvious choice, The Dark Knight. Most quotable lines, Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker, um, just the entire structure of it is so awesome, and it's philosophical themes again. It's probably one of the more philosophical Batman films out there. So while I could have probably chosen one of the more classic Batman films, with the exception of Batman and Robin, we all know what a piece of shit that thing is. Um, this is definitely the one that played a huge part in, you know, forming my idea of Batman while growing up, with the exception of Batman the Animated Series and all the other incarnations that came before. So definitely Dark Knight Trilogy is fantastic. Number 9 would have to be Aliens. While the first Alien is fantastic and is very creepy and horror and whatever, I just loved Aliens for all the action, and it just made me feel like a badass when I was younger, especially watching the Marines going like, just shooting the fuck out of the xenomorphs, and just yeah, it's one of those badass movies, and I absolutely fucking love Aliens. I do prefer the Predators, but since at this point in time the Aliens versus Predator crossover had not happened yet, um, but Aliens, out of all the films with the Alien and the Predator kind of a thing, Aliens is my favorite. Then finally, number 10 would be have to be Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Um, all the Harry Potter films are good, but this one definitely made the most impact on me as a kid. It was definitely the more fun and light-hearted of the films. Although the scene that really impacted me as a kid and really used to give me the chills, and I still used to. I remember, I even when reading the book, the scene gave me the chills. The scene where the troll is lurking around the castle really was one of my favorite scenes in that whole thing. But yeah, the first Harry Potter is definitely my favorite out of all the Harry Potter films. Even though the action and the stakes get bigger and bigger with as the films progress, I love this one because it just really appealed to me at the time as a kid. And you know, like the fact that you can go to a school and learn magic and shit. You know, Harry Potter is one of the best book series ever created. And yeah, it's just I fucking love Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It's definitely stuck with me throughout all these years, and it's just the most fun out of all the films. It's the most fun. It has just this air of mystery around it, and the fact that it's your first introduction to Hogwarts as a whole, and you get to discover more about Harry's world in this monumental first movie. It's just a lot of fun. It just has a lot of charm to it, and I absolutely fucking love it. So, Thomas, those are my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Okay. Next question. My friend Claudio Yarso asks, if I could choose only one, what would it be? Anime or metal? Ugh, shit. Claudio, now you're gonna make me start questioning my whole existence on this earth. Hmm. Hmm. I would pick Animetal.
Got him!
But in all seriousness, I don't think I'd be able to pick one or the other. And also, since your question doesn't specify, something like in the event of some kind of universal thing, or if one wasn't invented, blah blah blah, if you could, whatever. I guess my answer would be I cannot be forced to pick between the two. For me, the two mediums are so inseparable, and both of them form the foundation for basically where I draw a lot of my artistic inspiration from. So I cannot pick between the two. And if you send me a message saying like, oh, but you must pick whatever, I'm sorry, dude. I cannot pick between the one or the other. So yeah, I guess yeah. Damn it, now I've got to go question my entire existence on this planet after this. Okay, so the last question comes from a YouTuber by the name of DragonZord571. And he asks, what are your thoughts and expectations for Godzilla Monster Planet? I went and checked the trailer. Apparently, it's the title of the upcoming Godzilla anime. I was aware that there was going to be a Godzilla anime. I just didn't know that this was the title of it. So I'm glad you asked me something about the anime, because I'm gonna be honest here. I really honestly don't know what my expectations for it are going to be, because I'm really not much of a Godzilla kaiju fan. I've never really followed that kind of stuff. I mean, my first experience with Godzilla was unfortunately the absolutely atrocious 90s movie, with the fish and stuff. But I haven't even seen the recent Godzilla. But even as a kid, like, Godzilla just never really appealed to me. I was more of a King Kong kind of a kid. King Kong appealed to me a hell of a lot more. I've never really been a Godzilla guy. So I honestly don't know. Though based on the trailer though, the teaser trailer, the animation and character models look almost the same as what was that series? Aijin, and it's animated in that 2.5D, as we like to call it, animation style, which I'm definitely not a big fan of, especially based on my experience with the new Berserk anime, and of course shows like Knights of Sidonia and stuff. I am not a fan of that 2.5D style of um, animation. Either go 3D or 2D. There's no middle ground. I mean, I guess the argument can be made that UFO Table do it better when they do it, but I mean, they do it in such a way that you can't really tell if you don't have the eye for it. They do it in such a way that it's not in every scene, it's only in certain scenes, and when they do it in those scenes, the action or whatever is moving so fast that you cannot tell it's a 3D model. It looks 2D all the way. So if UFO Table were doing this, maybe then yeah, it would look whatever. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'll be checking it out. Although if somebody requests me to review it on Patreon, then yes, I will definitely check it out. But other than that, when it comes to personally going out of my way to check it out, I don't think so. I'm not much of a Godzilla guy. I'd much rather check out and watch with my friends the 2014, 2015, whatever year it was released, Hollywood film than the anime of it. So yeah. Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. I do hope you found this to be entertaining, and hopefully now you know a little bit more about me. I know this special was long overdue, and I apologize to all of you guys for that. As I said before at the beginning of the video, I've been very sick. Also, on top of that, I've been working on all these other projects and stuff. This is my first time doing this kind of content. I'm pretty sure if I stuck to doing this kind of content like I wanted to when I started this channel, maybe I would be a bit faster doing it, but that's just me making excuses again. So again, I apologize, guys, but I do hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, when we reach 200, I'll definitely do another one of these, and also the 1-year anniversary Q&A is coming up, so yeah, stay tuned for that one. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for all your questions. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much to each and every single one of you out there, all 111 of you right now at the time of this recording. Thank you so much to all of you for all your continued support, for keeping this channel alive, and for checking my content out, and for sticking with me through all these eventful times. So thank you so much again. It really means the world to me. You guys are the absolute fucking bomb. You are the best. Without you guys, this channel would not exist, and I'm thankful to each and every single one of you amazing motherfuckers out there. Thank you so much. And yeah, guys, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and can't talk. And if you know, if you haven't already done so, and yeah, guys, please be sure to check out my Patreon if you want to see some of the awesome reward tiers, and yeah, again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms, and until the next time, take care and have a kick-ass day.